Hi everyone, welcome to Unit 3, Lesson 5, Power Rule of Exponents, okay? So before this we talked about being able to add exponents, and I am going to show you an example using that as well, but from that we're going to use a shortcut, okay, and which is the power rule. So with this, ignore this for a second, but if we only look at the first expression, we have x squared squared. Woo! That doesn't sound fun, right? But what that's saying is that everything inside those parentheses needs to be multiplied by itself, right? That's what exponents tell us. So in this case, that would look like x squared times x squared, which in the previous lesson we learned that we can just add those exponents together. So this is the same thing as x to the 2 plus 2, which is x to the 4th power. Well, you don't have to break it down every single time. What we can actually do, and what this power rule is it tells us that we can actually, when they're set up this way, we can multiply the exponents together. So let's go ahead and use that in some examples. So number 1, it says, sorry, my dog thinks she's real tough. Let's see. Number 1 says, use the power rule of exponents to simplify 6 squared to the 4th power. So, using that power rule, what that tells me is that I can do 2 times 4, and what that is actually going to equal is 6 to the 8th power. Okay, just multiply them together. Now, if you wanted, you could write the whole thing out. We could say 6 squared times 6 squared times 6 squared times 6 squared, right? And then that would be the same thing as 6 to the 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Well, we know that repeated addition like this, that's just equal to multiplication. So that's the same thing as 6 times, 2 times 4, which is equal to 6 to the 8th power. Alright, so that's like the why behind it, but it's so easy, right? We just, as long as we know that rule, we can, so if I'm going to simplify this using the power rule of exponents, this is the same thing as 10 to the 9th times, if I could write my numbers correctly, that would be helpful, huh? 10 to the 9 times 7. Well, what's 9 times 7? 63. I don't want to have to write all of that out, like 9 times or 7 times to get to 63. That's way too many. So we just write 10 to the 63rd power. Okay? Let's try one more. Alright, this time I have it already kind of filled out. We've got 3 to the 3rd power, 3 cubed to the x power is equal to 3 to the 24th. Well, really, if we're using that power rule of exponents, we know that we can multiply these together. So really, like if I were to pull all of that to the side, I could say 3 times x equals 24. Well, to solve that, I could divide both sides by 3. Those cancel on the left, which I'm left with x is equal to 24 divided by 3, or 8. And checking my work, right, 3 times 8 does get me to 24. So in this case, x is equal to 8. So I hope that helps, seeing a few of them written out. All right, and as always, reach out for help if you need it.